Most landing pages fail in the first 5 seconds. Not because their offer is bad, not because the traffic is wrong. They fail because people land, pause, and leave without ever understanding why they care. Most people assume that the fix is optimization, better design, more copy, more features. They keep adding and tweaking, hoping something clicks. But after auditing hundreds of landing pages over the last decade, I found the opposite. The pages that convert aren't the most impressive, they are the simplest. Clear headline, obvious outcome, easy to read, fast to load. The ones that fail, they try too hard. Hey, if you're new here, I'm Rashid. I spent over 9 years building conversion systems. In this video, I'll show you the framework I use to spot what's broken and how to fix it fast. So let's dive in. When people think about Apple, they think about simplicity, not specs, not features, simplicity. But that didn't come from taste, it came from discipline. Steve Jobs was famous for killing ideas, not because they were bad, but because clarity only happens when you remove everything that doesn't matter. Fewer buttons, fewer options, fewer distractions. Not to make products look elegant, but to make the decisions obvious. That's why Apple products feel easy. They don't overwhelm you, they guide you. And that's exactly what winning landing pages do. They don't try to impress, they guide. Over the last few years, I've audited hundreds of landing pages. SaaS companies, e-commerce, agencies, B2B, B2C, you name it. And here's what I found. The pages that fail all make the same 5 mistakes. Not all 5, but at least 3 or 4. And those pages that convert, they avoid all 5. These are the actual issues I find every single time I audit a page. You know, the patterns are so consistent that I can find what's wrong within the first 30 seconds. I pretty much developed a system for evaluating landing pages that helped me identify the 5 critical mistakes. So let me walk you through each one and why it kills conversions and how to fix it. So, mistake number 1, weak first impression. This is the number 1 mistake I see. If I had to guess, 70% of the pages I audit fail because of this. Because this is the most important part of the whole page. A lot of thought is needed as this is your first impression. You see, you have to hook visitors in to get them to keep scrolling and keep investigating. As they say, one good hook is worth more than thousands of words of masterful copy. Your headline is going to be the thing that's going to be seen more than anything else. Because if you get everything else right, but the headline is wrong, it's still dead on arrival. If you had $1 budget, you should spend 80 cents on your headline. Every opportunity counts because you most likely only get one shot when someone visits your landing page. You only have their attention for so long, and there's other people fighting for their time and attention as well. So the solution is headlines that hook using the 4 U's. In order to do what I want people to actually do, which is to stop scrolling and consume, you need to remember that consumption precedes conversion. That means your headline needs to follow the 4 U's, not as a checklist, but as 4 questions your reader subconsciously asks when they land on your page. Number 1 is urgent. Why should I pay attention to this right now? If there's no urgency, they will scroll. Simple as that. Number 2 is unique. What makes this different from all the 10 things I've seen? If it feels familiar, their brain filters out. Number 3 is ultra specific. Who is this actually for, and what exact problem does it solve? You see, vague headlines gets ignored where specific ones actually feel personal. And lastly, number 4, useful. If I give you my attention, what do I get in return? How does my life, business, or situation improve after reading this? If your headline doesn't clearly answer all 4, it's not strong enough yet. So ask yourself, would I stop scrolling for this? If not, rewrite it. So that's the first mistake I see, which is a weak first impression. The second mistake I see is trying to be clever instead of clear. Funnily enough, this one kills pages that should convert. At the end of the day, 80% of copywriting is knowing what to say, The other 20% is how you say it. By this, I mean you land on the page and think, okay, but what is this? And if someone can't understand what you do, who it's for, and why it matters in 5 seconds, you've lost them. Clarity beats cleverness every single time. Even the most highly sophisticated and smart audiences want information presented simply. Steve Jobs, again, understood this better than anyone else. He took incredibly complex ideas and boiled them down into language that anyone could understand. The solution is clarity over cleverness. The pages that convert aren't necessarily dumbing things down. They're doing something even harder. They take something complex and make it feel obvious. And that's the real skill. If someone can't understand what you do, who it's for, and why it matters to them in 5 seconds, again, the page is useless. It doesn't matter how smart your audience is, everyone prefers clarity. First, I would use the Hemingway app. This app shows you the reading level of your content and helps you show what areas are hard to read and overly complex. What you should be aiming for is that kind of 5th grade reading level. Simply upload your copy into the app and it will highlight sections that are hard to understand or overly complex, making it easier to improve clarity. And another important solution is to make your content skimmable. You see, one uncomfortable truth about landing pages is that most people skim. Instead of trying to fight it or ignore it, embrace it. Easiest way to do this is by addressing why people buy. By understanding why people buy, it helps you make content that's skimmable. People don't buy solutions, they don't even buy products. They buy outcomes and certainty. In B2B, it's 4 of these. Increase revenue, so new customers, bigger deals, higher prices. It can be save money as well, cut costs, reduce waste, do more with less. And another one in B2B is save time, automate, streamline, shorten the path. And it can also be mitigate risk, right? Avoid mistakes, stay compliant, reduce churn. In B2C, health, look better, feel better, live longer. Wealth, obviously, earn more, keep more, spend smarter. And lastly, relationships, love, status, belonging, connection. Making it skimmable only wins when the outcome is obvious. For example, if you're selling increased revenue, show before and after numbers. You also want to test the reason, right? Not just the wording. Most A/B tests swap headlines. Try swapping the outcome you lead with. You might find something like save time converts twice as well as save money for your audience. So with that said, this leads to mistake number 3, bad user experience. This is a big one. The worst offenders make their pages impossible to navigate or read. So when it comes to landing pages, user experience, also known as UX, is how visitors take up on you and your offer. For example, the biggest issues I've seen is so much text, right? There's nothing more daunting than a big wall of text that makes you think, oh my God, I have to consume all of this. And if your colors and layout are wrong as well, people won't consume, right? So here are a couple solutions to fix this. First is short and sharp sentences. What you want to do here is use a mix of sentence lengths, shorter ones to hammer home key points and occasionally longer ones to add variety. What you want to do here really is to feed your visitors information in 3 or 4 words per sentence. Each one becomes bite-sized, easy to digest, and pulls them through the message effortlessly. For landing pages, for example, a few lines of text within a paragraph followed by some bullets. Simple as that. So another solution that's really important when it comes to conversions is it needs to be visually aesthetic. I keep my copy simple and easy to read pretty much by having black text on a white background. A lot of people ask, does this actually work? Yes, because it's all about clarity and readability. You see, the high contrast between black and white allows your eyes to move effortlessly across the page, making it easier for readers to follow and absorb the information. This helps the copy to stand out, keeping the focus on what you want to communicate. And from looking at heat maps, this approach has directly impacted my conversions. And the final solution is a ruthless final edit. Once you've written out your copy, most of the real work happens in the final edit. Around 80% of your time should be spent actually refining it to something you're actually confident putting out. So this is just ruthlessly cutting back everything that's in the copy that doesn't support bringing that storyline forward and getting your point across. And now with AI tools in the picture, you can use tools like Claude to help you with this as well. So this leads to mistake number 4, bad design. In my opinion, gone are the days of ugly landing pages. Especially now with AI in the picture, you need to make a good first impressions because first impressions last. Otherwise, people won't trust you. You know that studies have shown that 75% of consumers judge a company's credibility based on its design. A poorly designed website can drive visitors away, while a professional, visually appealing, and user-friendly website installs confidence. So with that said, there are 2 solutions for this that I do. Number 1 are web builders. There are a ton of website builders out there, but my favorite is Framer. It makes building landing pages almost effortless, and it's low code, perfect for simple architectures, and optimized for speed. I actually switched from Webflow to Framer because I just find Framer much more easier to use. Simply go to Framer's template library and you can get going fast. So just pick a template that matches your layout needs, customize it, and you're 80% done in around 20 minutes? The benefit of these web builders, whether it's Framer, Webflow, and so on, they are optimized for web speed, which is really important when it comes to conversions. And another solution I go to when it comes to design is to build a swipe file of winning landing pages. Seriously, if you don't have a swipe file, you're making your life harder than it needs to be. You know, just think of it as your personal vault. Sites that made you pause, smile, click, or even think, damn, that's good. Screenshot it, save it. It doesn't matter where it is. You know, Google Drive, Notion, a random folder on your desktop. Just get into the habit of keeping one. And here's the thing about good marketers. They are obsessive savers. If you're not actively looking and consuming the best landing pages, you're missing out on all their patterns. And if you want an easy place to start with, go to saslandingpage.com. Why? Because these are the companies that are spending millions on their sites. And with AI and tools like Framer and the marketplace it provides, you can replicate their design quality in a fraction of the time. And I'm not saying to copy them, I'm saying to study what works. This is genius in my opinion because you're learning from the companies that have tested and optimized their pages with millions and millions of dollars in ad spend. And you get to benefit from that without spending a dime. So this leads to mistake number 5, too slow load time. Page speed is the most critical factors of your page's success. Research shows that visitors expect a page to load in 3 seconds or less. If it takes longer, they will get frustrated and bounce. You could have the best landing page in the world, but if it does not load fast, you're toast. So there are a few solutions to fix this. The solution is very simple: optimize for speed. Luckily, this is very easy to do because there are tools like Framer that are optimized for web speed. What you need to do, your end, really, is when uploading images or GIFs, keep them under 1 megabyte. For videos, host them on platforms like Wistia or Vimeo, and then simply embed them to the page. Simple as that. Don't use YouTube because it will provide suggestions and impact your conversions. You want to make sure they are focused on your page. And then simply, once your landing page is ready, run a test with Google Page Speed Insights or any Page Speed Insights tool. A fast site increases your chances of more conversions. Plain and simple. So that's the complete audit framework. The 5 areas I evaluate every time when it comes to auditing landing pages. Fix even 3 of these and your conversions will improve. And these aren't theories. These are patterns I've seen across hundreds of audits over the last 10 years or so. And they are the same issues I fix every single time using the clear framework I've provided. So if you find this video useful, be sure to like and subscribe and I'll see you on the next one.